beautiful day in the neighborhood. Would you be mine? Could you be mine? Would you be my neighbor? It for real, we're live because it's really decent outside. Like I went outside with a suit jacket, but I need a suit jacket on. I need a jacket because this Buffalo weather is just not acting right. We had 4 seasons in one day the other day. Whew. Left out of the house. I'm telling you, felt like it was 70 degrees.
Bipolar.
Went to work, starting to get cold, especially that little wind tunnel. Came out, it's snowing. So had to do this iCam because I go from those of you who've been around me or know me, know I can't eat spicy stuff. But I do. Why do I order spicy stuff and my head starts sweating? So now I'm in the car. I shouldn't even say what. I had a craving the other day. I wanted some fried chicken so bad. So bad. So I stopped at some place that I shouldn't have, but I was at a side of town that I couldn't get real fried chicken, so I went to a fast food place. What did I get? Spicy. So now I'm in the car. I'm sweating. Get out of the car, and it's like the tundra cold outside. So I got sweat dripping down in my eye. I knew what was going to happen. I knew I was going to be stuffed up.
Yep.
I knew. So that morning, I Zycammed it. And Zycam has saved the day, although I still have to be careful. Because last night after baptism, after I was in the pool, I haven't been in the pool in 3 years. Really, I haven't been in the pool probably longer than that because before I was standing outside of the pool and letting the deacons do
Yes, you did.
But I decided after 3 years I'm going to get in the water. And what did I not bring? My hat.
Yeah.
After I done waded in the water. Waded in the water. Taught Bible. It was a good crowd last night. It was a good time last night. Jaime did his thing. It was good. I said we taught, baptized, and was out by 8:02.
Sure was.
7 to 8:02.
The sun was still shining.
I don't know what I'm going to do when I'm not pastoring and I go to church and y'all in church for 4 hours. I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know.
I don't know.
And by the way, that was not a clandestine retirement because, lady stopped me last night. What? We heard you running for mayor. I said, who told you that? Everybody talking about it. That's why you step down so you can get ready. I said, if I was going to run for mayor, I wouldn't step down first. I'd stay right in the grove, raise some money.
Yeah, keep my salary.
It ain't much. I got guests here we're talking to in a little while. Got guests talking about First Shiloh Housing Corp and what's going on over there. Some new players in town. I don't know if you're going to be able to talk about that. It's called Beacon.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about Beacon and who Beacon is, who Beacon is. And I'll get to it. Talk about who the ownership is, too. Really interesting.
Yeah.
But some good things are coming to Buffalo. Really busy week before I get to them. I watched the rocket go up yesterday. So I almost said publicly, I just don't have the right feeling, but didn't do it because then people would have swore something. I'm watching this thing go up in the air. I kept saying, they said 30 things, and it was like 4 wasn't firing. So I'm watching it, and it goes up, and then it flips around, and they keep talking about it's getting ready to detach. And then, boom.
It detached.
It was gone. According to, and I don't know this man's business, but yesterday, let me see, I got it right here. Elon Musk lost $13 billion. That's billion with a B. In between that and Tesla stock. So I meant to sell my Tesla stock Monday. Goofed around like the last time.
Yeah.
So I'm going to sell it. So anybody want to buy? Get on your, call your broker, because I'm getting rid of my Tesla.
Yeah.
It's squeaking.
Yeah.
No place I can't take it to the shop. Got to go to Rochester somewhere. I tried to get on then I called the people. It's so embarrassing because the car is so quiet. So now I'm going down the street and all you hear is
And then you got to squeak all
little
the way.
kids is ribbing on me. Little kids in the street. Little kids in the street ribbing on me going, oh, this a Tesla. Why is it squeaking? You, Sunday. Oh, what's the squeaking? Pull up to the second church. What's the squeaking? So I call Tesla. And what does Tesla do? You have to do it by the app.
Yeah.
Same thing with Frontier. Y'all can talk about Frontier all you want. I fly Frontier when I want to because
So do I.
It's $39. Mm-hmm. I'm going somewhere in a couple weeks. $39. I get on. I don't care what y'all say. It is the Greyhound or the Sky. I don't care. I get on with I get a sandwich, my own water because they charge you for water.
Wait, you get a sandwich?
I bring my own sandwich.
you bring
Are
your
you
sandwich.
kidding me?
Oh.
I bring a sub. But now they are really acting up because when you get on now, it's been all over. TikTok, I don't watch TikTok. I don't even know how to do TikTok. But YouTube, so you got to drop your bag in the little thing. And if it doesn't drop in, they charge you.
Oh.
Like if you have to push it,
Oh, no.
or let's say you got your coat in there, and then
Oh,
you just say,
no.
well, I'm going to put my coat on. Like these people are going crazy. So I haven't been on in a little while, so I don't, but, yeah. Everything is by the app, even on Frontier. You cannot talk to anybody anymore. I don't like it.
No.
So let me tell you this, and then we're going to the guests. So we here at the church have a person, a staff member who calls people for their birthday. Mm-hmm. People love it. Oh my God. Right? So we send them a birthday card, and then somebody calls you.
Yeah.
Like it might not be your birthday, but
Right.
it's the week or the hey, yeah,
At least a month.
So I said, well, why don't we just automate it?
Yeah.
Why don't I just record my voice? And on your birthday, you get a call. Trustees was like, no. And the reason I've been successful pastoring for 28 years, because we talk. It's not my way or the highway.
Yep.
So when the trustees like, no, Pastor, we like hearing the live voice. I said, well, you ain't gonna hear my live voice, So, but okay. Then I had to think about it, how much I do not enjoy calling Frontier. I don't enjoy calling Tesla because everything is by app or online.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, when we come back after the guests, I'm gonna be telling you about a new AI thing out that you wear.
Oh.
It's your personal assistant. It's just coming out. Personal assistant.
Oh, no.
So we're gonna talk about that. Like if
Yeah.
you have a busy day and you're, let's say, running behind or you can't get on a Zoom,
Wow.
you can say, call Mark. Tell him I won't be. I'm 10 minutes late. Calling Mark.
Wow. That's that. Ooh, yeah, we got to discuss this.
Oh, this is getting.
Because like you said, the AI space is even crazy. Now I was watching yesterday, and you can write a book within 5 hours.
I told you that.
So
you ain't gonna know what
it's
you're not gonna know what's
crazy.
real.
Yeah.
A matter of fact, I'm gonna tell my AI to do a TED talk so I can make some money.
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna say do a TED talk on such and such, and it's gonna write the whole thing. I'm the one that's got to present it.
Yeah.
I'm the presenter.
Absolutely. I'm gonna try it too because I have a book. I have another. Well, outside of the ones I want to write, I have another book concept. So I'm gonna try it just to see if I can publish it.
It's gonna
before my
replace.
birthday.
It's
Yeah.
gonna replace people like Tracy. It's gonna replace people. It's gonna replace people. Who do I have with me today? Let the radio audience know.
Tracy Jordan Cardwell from TJ CPR Consultants.
And I'm Dan Belgraf with Beacon Communities.
Well, welcome, and you all are here today. We're talking about First Shiloh, right?
Yes.
Tell us what you're here about today.
Okay, well, as you mentioned, First Shiloh Housing Corporation's doing the Ellicott Town Center renovations. Daniel here with Belgraf.
Beacon.
Beacon.
I got your name
Right.
and the company
Belgraf is the
name.
name.
They are the developers. I'm here to talk about the job fair that we're
Okay.
having for this project. Our goal in every project that's built in the city of Buffalo's goal should be that project resembles the neighborhood, meaning that black and brown people should be working on that project as well. So
First of all, let me say this. I love that you just say it.
yeah,
That
you
there's
have
no
to.
going around it, that
No.
you say that people of color should be working on the project.
And not because New York State has put these things in place, it's just because that's just the right thing to do.
Yeah, yeah.
Why, call out in Syracuse or Rochester, for workers to work on an inner city of Buffalo project, when you could have somebody right there in that neighborhood that can do the same thing or better.
Okay? I
So
totally agree.
Right. So my goal is to reach out to the community and let them know, listen, this is a job opportunity. Now, like life, there's no guarantees in life. I'm not guaranteeing that you're going to walk out of there with the job. But the opportunity exists for them because they can come to the event, they can talk directly to the contractors, one-on-one interviews right on the spot.
Do they have to have some type of skill before?
No,
What are you
I'm going
looking
to
for?
say no. I'm going
Okay.
to say no. Now, the personnel forms that we ask them to fill out, it gives a list of different trades. And we ask them, how much experience do you have in this? Little, none, or a lot. Now, I say you can say, okay, I have a little experience because I helped my cousin paint his house last year, or I helped my brother put a roof on. Anything like that, guess what? That's considered experience. And the contractors that I've spoke to in the past, they told me, we prefer to have somebody that has little to no
Wow.
experience because we can train them the way we want to see them work.
Wow. Wow.
I said, you know what, that speaks volumes. And then we also have some contractors that are willing to take them to OSHA training. So, these are just opportunities across the board. And what I tell people all the time, once you learn a skill, no one can take that from you.
Absolutely.
You can go from project to project, from city to city, state to state with that skill and make a lot of money.
So I'm looking at a flyer here. It says contractors and subcontractors will meet one-on-one with attendees who are eager and willing to work hard. Any construction experience a plus, but a solid work ethic is a must.
Yes.
And so this is going down on Thursday, April 27th.
Yes, sir.
So it's coming up over at the Clement H. Hodges Community Center. Where is that?
86
I know
Pine
where it's
Street.
at.
I know you know.
Right there on the corner. Right
Yep,
there on the
right
corner.
there on the
so it's
corner.
on that corner over by the school so that people can kind of orientate themselves. Tell us about the project.
Yes.
Sure. So I've been working with First Shiloh Housing Corporations and First Shiloh Baptist Church for probably 4 years. They wanted to be here. I think I mentioned earlier
Yes.
that unfortunately they couldn't, so you're stuck with me.
No, we're not stuck with you. Give him a little bit more mic, but I like how you took that back off.
So we've been working with them, and just a little bit of history. So Ellicott Town Center was formerly the Ellicott Mall, New York State public housing complex, and it was built in the 50s. By the 80s, it was run down, completely vacant. And so First Shiloh partnered with HUD, the city of Buffalo, and New York State to come up with a really big plan to renovate it. So 4 of the existing high-rise towers were demolished. 4 of them were substantially renovated. Some senior units were built, some homeownership units were built, and that was done in about the 90s, mid-90s. So then, you fast forward 30 years, and First Shiloh's done a great job owning, managing, maintaining it, but it needs a facelift. Systems are 30 years old, kitchens are 30 years old, and the people, the 281 households who live there, it's time for them to live in the same type of housing that's being built, in new builds, all
Yeah.
across the city. So we were selected by First Shiloh to be their development partner, to come up with a financing plan, to hire a contractor, in this case RP Oak Hill Building Company, to do a facelift. So we're doing new kitchens, new baths, flooring, building systems, roofs, windows, and just taking the building into the modern era. You know what I mean?
Tell me about the relocation plan that I already know about and all. I'll be very transparent. I'm the council member in that area. We've had these discussions, but
Absolutely.
I think that people out there want to hear about that. So when you come in to redo an apartment, will people have to move out of their apartment?
Yeah, so First Shiloh, they made the strategic decision actually almost over 2 years ago to stop leasing vacancies because they wanted to do this, and we had talked with them, we had talked with the contractor, and there are groups out there who do, these towers are 8 stories.
Yeah.
And some groups do a story at a time, or 2 or 3 stories at a time, and part of the building's occupied. We wanted to make sure that an entire building was vacant.
Okay.
It's just, it can be done, but it's a hassle.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're shutting off water and the plumbing system with these buildings. You can't just shut off one floor. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
you're literally shutting off 30 apartments at a time, and we just didn't want to put the tenants through that, right? So we did a relocation plan that the state approved. Some people elected to move off site. Some
Mm-hmm.
people elected to move into a different tower.
Mm-hmm.
But then when one tower's done, the people, moved out of that tower are going to be moved back, and then we're going to move on to the next phase.
And I appreciate that, and obviously
Yeah.
the people do, because it is, if you're talking about months of work, and now I don't know, or you may tell me when the water is going off, but it could be very inconvenient. People have to leave their apartments, so they'll move out and then they move back into their renovated unit.
Yep.
And I know that you have seniors there, so they were very concerned. So they were very happy to hear they could go back to that unit. When will the construction begin?
We issued the notice to proceed at the end of March.
Okay.
So the contractor the last couple weeks been mobilizing, starting some selective demo, in the units, but it's starting right now. So that's why we're glad to have Tracy and her team, on board to spread the word, because we're going to be under construction for at least the next 24 months. This is a long-term project where there are opportunities, not just in a 3 or 4 month period. We're talking 2 years.
So you're talking about 2 years of construction.
2 years. Yep.
Wow. I mean, you are really doing a huge project. So you're not just coming in and putting some paint on the pig. You're coming in and reconstructing everything.
Absolutely.
Good. That's a good thing. Let's get back to the jobs, and I won't keep you all, but let's get back to these jobs, because these are the jobs for that project. So we're not talking about jobs that are going to be for a couple weeks. We're talking about somebody being employed for years and then continuing their skill. Like you said, now you have a skill. You not only have a job, you got a skill for the next job. And what people need to realize, especially in some of these housing projects of redoing, we saw this happening at St. John and other places where now older buildings are being redone. So there are going to be and there are right now, to be very honest, great opportunities in the construction industry. I know there are, because there's a shortage of people right now, of skilled laborers. I'm waiting on some things that would normally take a week to get done is now taking me a month to get done. So I had to start getting contractors in the winter. So I want folks out there to know, I want you to know there are opportunities out there. But this is very important, and I love this. A solid work ethic is a must. You can't get fired every other week, and then
Yeah, let's put it in layman's terms.
Yes.
That means that, yes, you have to show up on time.
Yes.
Okay, there's no option. You have to be there on time. When they say, work starts at 7, you need to be there.
Is there drug testing?
With some there may be.
Yep.
With some there
But
may
not
be,
all.
But not all.
And I
Right.
put it out there because we know that cannabis is legal now, whether you agree or not, and statewide,
But not
and so
federally.
not federally.
Right.
And there are some jobs, and we've talked about this before, that you can't come to work drunk.
No.
Or smelling like weed.
You can't come to work high. You cannot do it, folks. And I don't care. And I'm having the real conversations. People can get mad or not. But this is what I always keep saying, because you say something is legal, it doesn't mean it's right on that job. And when you are handling equipment that could take somebody's arm off. So I ask that to everybody. So some jobs there is a requirement that you're not high on the job, period,
And they
or
do
drunk,
need to-
or from alcohol.
Exactly.
Yes.
They also need to have a valid driver's license.
Okay, valid driver's license.
that's
So let's talk about that for a minute. And I'm putting you in a social worker type of role right now. So this is giving Beacon off the hook, because this is your company that you have you grew this company from the ground up, right?
Yeah. Since 2017, I started.
Why? Okay, let me dig a little bit in your business because you are an African American woman
Yep.
who is. You have a consulting company, right?
Yes, I do.
And why did you start that?
Why?
Yeah.
All the things that I was doing for my former employer, who I was with for over 20 years, you know, when I left there, I just said, I don't want to work for anybody else. I want to do it for myself.
And you've been widely successful because I've been
Praise God.
to several of
Nothing-
your projects.
Listen, nothing but God. I'm serious about that.
And so, how many? Do you have any employees yet, or are you the employee?
I am the main and only employee.
Oh, that's
but I
even
do
the better
hire,
way.
Right? I hire people to help me
Let me
out.
be the main, the only, and the check is mine.
Yep, I hire like my family members, my
Yeah,
very
yeah.
good friends, you know, to help me out on days that I
But,
need help.
but let me say, and then I'm all off on tangent. We'll be done in 4 minutes. I don't think anything is wrong with that. We have people all the time who hire their family members, and
Right.
that's a part of having your own business.
Exactly.
And I'll get on that tangent when you're off the show because a lot of folk get mad at people who hire their own family. But if it's
That's what
my
you're supposed to
business,
do. Right.
because you had your daughter doing photos.
Yes.
Yeah, for another company and through your company.
Yep.
And this is how, and this is a whole conversation we have all the time.
Yep.
How you build wealth and generational
Generational
wealth.
wealth.
And
Absolutely.
it's not just about the
Amen.
chicken, the money. It's not just about the dough. It's about learning how to make it.
Yep.
How to
That's
make it
right.
come to you.
That's right.
Not you have to chase it.
Or
Preach.
how to make money even when you sleep.
When you sleep. Now,
Yeah,
that's when
that
you're making
part.
money, when you sleep. Beacon
That
Communities
part.
is brand. Oh, I wanted to finish this. So your company goes out and you try whatever that for instance, Beacon Communities needs
Yes.
as far as recruitment of these folks and all that.
Yep.
So that's your part in this project.
That is my part in this project.
Who is Beacon Communities? Brand new to Buffalo.
We are new. I'm not new to Buffalo, but I was formerly with North Star Development with two of my other colleagues, and they were based in Buffalo for about 20 years. Actually, Ellicott Town Center was the first project they ever worked on in New York State. But you know, to be honest, the principals of North Star got to an age where it's time to retire. They
Yeah,
wanted
so
to-
there was nothing. I want to say this because a lot of people might go like, "Where's North Star?" There was nothing negative. There was
Right.
no scandal. He just decided
I'm
he
done.
was like Forrest Gump.
I'm done.
He just said, "I'm going home now.
That's it.
I'm going home now. What we gonna do? I'm going home now." And then you all just kept on running.
we kept going, and Beacon, you know, they're headquartered in Boston, Massachusetts, but do work all throughout the Northeast. And they really, as a company, there was a really good synergy because they wanted to do more work in upstate New York, and they really wanted to establish a presence in Western New York. And you know, it kind of happened at the same time where, you know, Beacon wanted to do that. North Star was trying to wind down operations, so myself and two other staff members based in Buffalo joined, you know, the Beacon Communities team. So first project was Ellicott Town Center. There's other things we're, you know, gotten the irons in the fire. We're happy about that, and you know, looking forward to it. It's a great company. I've only been an employee of Beacon for like 6 months, but
Yeah, but
so
you've
far,
been
so good.
anybody who's been around construction knows you. Anybody in our neighborhoods where because you always part of the spokesperson team, always
I don't
keep
know how
it.
that happened.
Yeah, all the new development, the veterans housing on the east side right now that was with North Star.
Correct.
That just is beautiful over
Absolutely.
there. And so to have you all still in the game is so important, especially that community over there, because, you know, I remember when that project first came out and everybody was yelling and screaming and, we don't want this, and pulling out their wigs and all kinds of their eyelashes. And then you all came along and said, no, we're going to listen.
Yeah.
And you sat down with people, and that's, I use you all as example a lot, and the project changed somewhat, but the people were like, cool. And some of the people who complained actually live in one of the houses, right? So he becomes a spokesman of how you do construction the right way. You don't just come in a community and like, hey, we here and we don't care what you feel. And so I know that because you all were like that with North Star, that you'll be like with that with Beacon.
100%, and we appreciate your support. It's important to us.
Yeah,
You know,
well,
there's-
you did it right.
Yeah.
I've had some who did it wrong
Yeah.
and kept doing it wrong.
And keep.
So we won't discuss that with you on there. But April the 27th, folks, April the 27th, you got to call somebody. You got to let them know. And to register, I'm going to give you the number right now. I'm going to give you the number twice, 716-219-0622. Hear it again, hear it again, hear it again, 716-219-0622. Or you can go to workforceopportunity@gmail for more information. And of course, if you're on one of our social media platforms, all you got to do is go back, rewind it a little bit. But there are people out there who will qualify, who are looking for a job. This is more than a job. This is about careers. This is about feeding. I always say this, I'll never be without a job as long as I have my mind, my health, and my Bible. I'm going to find a job somewhere. I don't care. I will learn. I don't want to learn how to paint, though. I don't like painting. I don't like it's just too much. You get one little spot and you got to start. You love painting? No.
It's like you could put your music on and just, be relaxed and just paint. I love
Really?
Yes.
Monique does a lot of painting outside. She got all these easels. She paints. And then the boys. Matter of fact, my teenage boy, how old is he? 15. Him and his little girlfriend had a little date in the backyard with easels.
Oh, wow.
Kill me
That's
now.
so nice.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, come
They make me sick. The other day I came home from school. I came home from work. See the little girl. She wasn't in the house, but she was going to get in her father's truck. So I'm like, well, what was, it's in between. It's latchkey kids, So I said, what was that here for? She just came by to give me a hug at the door. Oh my God.
Oh, God.
You want to kill me now? You want to kill me now?
That's sweet.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
Is he?
It's 15.
Nah, that's.
That's sweet, though.
But I mean, she has great parents. She's a great student,
That's why
and
it's
they're in school. They're both in school, doing well. So she supports him at all his basketball games. It's too much.
Yeah, that's too much.
Can I tell you about Valentine's Day? It was sick.
Oh, God.
Stuff all on my dining room table. I'm still picking up little stuff. Just stuff. So. Thank you guys for being with us.
Thank you so much.
All right, folks, that's Thursday. I'm getting ready to throw it over to the station for our sponsors. I'm throwing it over to you in 3, 2, 1.
When it comes to something as personal as your clothes, you need to deal with somebody you can trust. That's why so many people turn to Hobson's Dry Cleaning, conveniently located in the heart of the community at 874 East Delavan at the corner of Wyoming.
When you take your clothes to Hobson's, you can trust that they'll be ready on time.
You can trust that your whites will be white.
You can trust that you'll always get a fair price and service with a smile.
You can even trust that you won't have to get out of your car if you don't want to. Hobson's has a drive-through window for your convenience.
Trust is what it's all about at Hobson's Dry Cleaning.
Hobson's Dry Cleaning, your one-stop dry cleaners serving the community for over 30 years at 874 East Delavan at the corner of Wyoming. Call 891-8298. That's 891-8298.
Brian K. Lewis Funeral Home has 3 locations to serve you in Buffalo. 347 Peckham, 2258 Bailey Avenue, and Providence Memorial Chapel at 1275 Sycamore. Brian K. Lewis Funeral Homes offers traditional services, and they have services for all faiths. And at Brian K. Lewis Funeral Homes, they have air-conditioned parlors and chapels. Financing is available, as is limousine service. At those difficult moments in your life, Brian K. Lewis Funeral Homes is available where you are with counseling services. Call toll-free 877-885-7734. That's 877-885-7734. Or locally 845-5545. Brian K. Lewis Funeral Homes. We are here to serve you, here to serve this present age. Call today, toll-free 877-885-7734. Or email info@brianklewisfuneralhome.com.
So I know AI might not be like the biggest subject to you, but it is changing the world by storm. Like when you call airline or whatever, if it's AI assisted, you almost think you're having because it's more than just like press this. It's like a conversation.
Yeah.
And if you don't know AI, you don't know you're not having a conversation with a real person. So I just got this. I'm a gadget person. It talks about watch the first demo of Buzzy, Startup Humane's wearable AI assistant, in leaked clips. I'm just going to get to what it's the kind of wearable device and platform that's built entirely from the ground up for artificial intelligence, which is what AI. You don't need a smartphone or any other device to pair with it.
What?
Oh, it's getting thick out here. Thanks to the presentation, we now have at least some idea of what the device might look like, blah, 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 blah. The device, it wore in the breast pocket, tapping it in lieu of a wake word, and then issuing commands, voice commands, like you would Amazon Echo smart speaker. The device also supports gesture commands. I mean, this thing is watching you.
Wow.
Quote from this guy, Chaudhry, who is, I think, the head of the company. Imagine this. You've been in meetings all day, and you just want the summary of what you've missed. Tap the device, ask to be caught up. In response, the device, now I really do need this, offers a summary of emails, calendar invites, and messages. So instead of now going, looking through your phone, you just talk to it. Yeah. It's unclear where the wearable is pulling this information from. Blah, blah, blah.
You want to talk about now having something that's constantly listening to you?
Yeah.
Oh, that's... oof.
Yeah, yeah. So they show this guy on Twitter, and he just says, catch me up. Let me see if I can get that. I know I'm not connected to the audio feed or anything. Let me see if I got enough volume. Nah, I ain't even gonna try. So he just says, catch me up, and this thing starts giving it what it missed. So this thing is changing the world. Folks, it's happening so fast. So fast.
That's great. And like you said, I think we were just on the show, not even a month ago, talking about just how they are now changing graphics and everything else. Now there's actually ads now since that show that pop up that's got like the Pope running from police.
Yes.
And they were like, yeah, it was completely...
Or the Pope in a bubble coat.
Yeah, and they're like, oh yeah, it was created completely with AI. And then now I'm even hearing like just more and more conversations about it. Like I said, it was actually another podcast that I was watching called Earn Your Leisure, and they had a guy, and that was where I learned about how to write a book and publish in less than 5 hours. It's
crazy.
Using this one ChatGPT, which is now I think becoming the most popular one. So it's crazy how fast it's taking
and
off.
this thing is like, even the AI, I told you I created the woman to put on Facebook for the change of times. And you can, let's say you have a favorite artist. You can say, create a picture inspired by Picasso of a dog sitting, and it's going to look like a Picasso.
And here's where this was earlier today where I found out is interesting. They're now into creating music with AI. So now the big thing is they're talking about you might now get a Tupac versus Biggie collaboration album. They did a song putting The Weeknd and Drake together that they never recorded. So it's too much. It's too fast.
And the unfortunate part is it'll be used for negative.
Yeah. Of course.
And it already is. It already is. So I just wanted to keep that on the front burner about this AI stuff and keep you all informed of what it is. It's artificial intelligence. It is taking over, and it is taking over rapidly. So you have to be careful of what you believe is true.
Yep.
And I mean, you should be that anyway. But you have to be careful because you know, people already run on social media, and they can say something and people believe it.
Yep.
They cut and paste and you believe it. Imagine with this improved AI capability, and you do that. It's just like it's going to be scary to know what's real and what's not.
You think one day we'll be able to do the show with complete AI?
Or I think radio stations will
Yeah.
run with complete AI. I mean, right now there are radio stations that run without any humans.
Yep.
I think it's very impersonal because, especially in local radio, you want to hear, not just local radio, I don't want to hear national radio
Yeah.
with just, in my car, I've got Sirius XM, and then I have this other thing that comes with the car. I very rarely listen to the other thing with the car because there's no voices. There's no, I don't like a lot of talking on the radio, like
Right.
during music, but some updates on different things about the
Absolutely.
stars I do like to hear about. And so, but I do think, AI is going to change almost every job I think out
Yeah.
there. Because if you look at it, even when we talk about construction jobs today, right now, many of the construction that's happening across the country is not happening out on the streets.
Nope.
It happens in a factory
They're prefabbing everything.
and with very few hands-on now.
Yep.
They're putting together the joints by machine so you get perfect joints. It's in a controlled environment. Matter of fact, I talked to somebody the other day who's going to do some building here in Buffalo. By the time it hits the street, it's almost already built.
Yeah.
It's coming in sections
Yep.
that are basically being built by a computer. All you need is somebody. You don't need it to load it nowadays. It's picking up stuff, moving stuff. You need it to program it.
Yeah.
And this is the big deal, folks, that we better learn. There's always going to be a human on one side of it. You
one
got to
side,
have a
yeah.
human somewhere. Well, right now, but we have to make sure our children are STEM ready.
I was getting ready to say that's the big piece in making sure that we are putting out the programmers. The skilled trades are still essential, but we got to make sure we're, like you said, working both sides. Who's programming? Who's in the factory who's the engineers?
Yes.
Because somebody's got to design it for the computer to
Absolutely.
do it. So,
Well, think about this now. If I can go on the AI
That's true,
and
too.
and say, draw me a picture of Michelle Obama with a baseball cap on, it's going to do that.
yeah.
I believe AI is going to start doing building design and all that, but you're still going to have some human interaction.
yes.
But you can sit there and go, design me a 2-story house with lot that'll fit lot size such and such by New York State code. And that thing is going to do it. I promise you, within the next year, that thing is going to do it. At least within the next 3 to 4 years, because this technology is moving so fast.
Quick.
So now, do I need an architect?
Right.
Can I now take that down to permit office,
Yeah.
and these plans are spit out, and they are to New York State code, and yada yada. If you think about it, that's why when we talk about our young people learning the sciences, our young people learning math and all that, it is so important that they've got that, because, like you said, I think we'll always need some level of skilled trade. I mean.
Yep.
But how much of it?
Yeah.
Because if I'm cranking out, if I'm doing a high rise and every floor I'm delivering the walls, you are going to need somebody to put it together.
Yep.
But it ain't going to be that job where maybe you were on a job for 3 years. You may be on a job for a year now.
Yep.
Because so much is being cranked out in the
Yeah.
factory.
Yeah, my mind's just spinning and I think some of this probably got rushed sooner because somebody jumped out there, because that's how technology works. When somebody jumps out there first, and
Yes.
it's like, I've been working on it,
But that's
here's
what's
mine.
happening.
Yeah, so
that is what's happening, is that this AI world, because now everybody's like, oh, forget this side over here. We're going over here because this is where the money is.
Yep.
The money is over here. And so when Amber Bolin says sounds good but disturbing, too much work, it does sound good, but I agree with her. It is somewhat disturbing because of the amount of jobs. And this is why when we talk about education, our education system has to be already ahead of this.
Yeah.
Has to be ahead of it. We can't wait until now. There is no need for painters.
Yep.
Because if that wall is being made in the factory,
they can
it's
paint
getting
it too.
sprayed in
Yeah.
the factory.
And like you said, and it's really the education in this country.
Oh, absolutely.
Because a lot of this AI is not being developed in this country. So
The guy I was just talking about, he is not. I couldn't even pronounce pronounce his name, okay? At the end of the day, you are totally right.
Yep.
There are other countries already ahead of this.
Yep.
And while we and I'm guilty of it, while our children are spending hours playing the games,
Somebody's developing it.
their children
Developing it.
are sitting in school developing it. Okay? Let's talk for real. So we playing them,
Yep.
but they're getting paid.
Yes.
We paying.
Yep.
We're the consumer.
Yep.
They're the developer.
Yep.
And while we sitting around here fighting each other and we didn't.
Spending $600 on PS5s and everything
I
else.
keep saying the folks who have the money love how we treat each other, mistreat each other,
Absolutely.
keep each other down. They love it because you stay distracted.
Yep.
Stay so distracted that we never really concentrate. The youngest boy in the house loves the like robotics.
Yeah.
And all that. He's not really a big gamer and all that, but I mean, he does play, he knows how to play. But his big thing, when we sent him to, I ain't gonna say the school because they might not let him back in if I say it, but sent him to robot camp. So everybody had to create their own robots.
Yeah.
And they really did. Great camp. What does my kid create? He creates a robot that could knock out the other robots. No, this is not Rock'em Sock'em Robot, son. Your robot needs to help other robots.
But now
He followed the rules, but
he followed the rules. But just think about the mind, because he could be developing for a military engineer.
absolutely. Oh, look at you! Yeah, that's because you all think alike, and you always have his back. I don't care
Absolutely.
what this kid does. Mark
Absolutely.
finds a golden ticket in there somewhere. But it is going to be those type of jobs
Yep.
and things that that we gotta. This is not going to stop.
No.
Already, I was looking online about I forgot what city it was. They already have driverless cabs already. Now, New York State is so scared of it. We stand away from it and all that. But they have driverless taxis.
Yeah.
Not all of them, but they
Right.
were showing how the thing comes and picks you up and takes you to the destination that you've already put into the thing.
Let's not forget, NFTA is working on an autonomous bus. They did the.
Oh, I ain't getting on no NFTA autonomous bus. I'm not getting on an NFTA autonomous bus with all them kids and all that. Who? No.
Yeah, no. I don't think it could be run in the city right now. But they test drove it. I think it was last year, the year before, out at UB. So they working.
Give
on
me
it.
my driver. Give me my I want my driver. I want Ned to be able to look up in that rearview mirror and say, "Sit down,
Yeah.
sit down, stop smoking."
What they go- Can you imagine an autonomous school bus? Now we talk about NFTA. Imagine an autonomous school bus. Oh man, that would be wild.
It's gonna be wild. NFTA. That's like a school bus. I want my driver.
Oh,
Big ups to the union.
Yeah.
I want my driver. There's some things that we got to, we're laughing about it, but this is serious business. You just not gonna have a job if you can't do some math, if you can't do some programming, if you can't do some maintenance.
Yep.
Or if you can't interact with the computer.
Yes.
Even if you can't program it. Today, to get a job, you have to have some computer skills in almost everything.
Absolutely.
Because even to apply,
yeah, it's online.
you got to be able to manipulate the computer.
Yeah.
This is the life. And 30 years ago, when we were saying this, you never thought it would happen this quick.
No.
Never in a million years.
No. I think I felt like it was always going to be like you're just going to wake up one day and the whole society is computerized. And I think we're here.
Oh, we're here.
we're here. And like you said, there is, and both of us have interviewed people for jobs. So it's one of those, like, when you hear somebody and they're like, yeah, I haven't used a computer in 5 years, or
next.
I don't know how to use Word
Next.
and stuff. You're like, oh, I don't
Next.
got time to teach you on the job.
You can't be the secretary and you can't use Word. You can't. Right now, in both offices, we are digitizing all our files.
Yeah.
It used to be when the elected official leave office, he takes certain files with, and still will, my personal files I'll take with me. However, I will forever have the files
Yeah.
from Ellicott District because they're going to be digitized.
Yep.
So at the end of the day, that's not how it was. You know, you fire somebody, they walk out with their box. Now they
Carrying
walk
box.
out with their
a
thumb drive.
yeah.
Be like, I got all y'all stuff right here.
Yep. When I worked at a bank and you got walked out and you weren't able to take a notebook, all you could take was just your little personal
your
pictures and a pen.
Yeah,
Maybe,
not
maybe.
now because you've been already downloaded what you need to
Yep.
know. So this is the difference. I want to close out talking about, and I would have talked about it regardless of the color. I think this is important. All of these shootings that are going on
Yeah.
for people getting in the wrong car,
Oh yeah.
going in the wrong house, and I'm going to include for basketball going over.
Yeah.
6-year-old. And now, you know, I heard more to the story now
Yeah.
this morning. So at first when the story was told about this 6-year-old girl who was shot and her parents, it was just said that the ball rolled over and the guy came out shooting. Now we know that the guy had cursed at the child.
Mm-hmm.
The father went over to the house and said, hey, stop cussing at my kid. You know, if you got a problem, let's me and you settle it.
Right.
And there was some type of threat, or it was felt, whatever it was.
Right.
The guy goes in the house, grabs a gun, and comes out shooting.
Wow.
So regardless of what happened, this is out of control.
Wow. That's just crazy.
And then you got states like Florida
Stand
that
your
now
ground.
you do not need a permit to carry concealed. And the only background check that is given is a federal background check, which is basically over the computer and takes 20 minutes to find out whether you're a felon.
And the fact that, like you said, now you don't need a permit, so anyone can carry in Florida. They already had stand your ground, which basically gave you a license that anybody walked on your property, you can go shooting.
Yeah.
And wow, that's just a wild.
Yeah.
You talk,
Like I'm scared to. I'm scared. I'm more cautious now, especially in Florida. I'm cautious because I haven't seen some stuff in Florida. But you got to be so careful now because so many people have guns. Now you all know. Anybody's been listening to me any amount of time, I do believe in my amendment right to carry. I do believe in it, but I just don't believe that everybody should have a gun.
No.
I just don't believe that that everybody and anybody, lottie-dottie and everybody should have a gun. Because what is happening right now is you have people who do not have it seems like the temperament
No.
to have a deadly weapon in their hand.
And I think you just said it. You just said it correctly. A deadly weapon. This is
Deadly weapon.
Because I think we think like, oh, it's a cool toy. It's a cool hobby. No, these guns were created to kill and neutralize.
Absolutely.
It wasn't meant for just like even the Second Amendment talks about our right to protect and being in a
Absolutely.
militia during the early world Revolutionary Wars. So we weren't meant to just like, oh yeah, I got a cool gun. I can go to the club. I can go hunting. Blah blah blah. No, it was meant to neutralize.
It definitely was. And so if you look at what's happening now, you know, this child, thank God that she lived. You know, that gun in people's hands who don't have the temperament, you know, you can say what you want to. Now, I think New York State did an overreach? I definitely do. I say that unashamedly. I believe it was an overreach. However, it's not an overreach to have red flag laws. It's not an overreach to have interviews with people. It is not an overreach you have to have credible references.
Yeah.
It is not, because if you don't know how to act without a gun, you do not need a gun in your hand.
No.
Because if you fighting every other week on the block without a gun, you definitely gonna pull that gun.
Yeah, absolutely.
And this is not only about protection of other people, but protection for these people who gonna end up in jail.
Yeah.
You're gonna end up in jail because you pulled out that gun when it didn't need to be pulled out.
Absolutely. And having that level of self-control is the crazy part. And I wish, like, all right, so even if it is in Florida, if you're in a state like Florida, then if you're not going to do a mental health check or a reference check, it should be an additional class of self-temperament, and this shouldn't be your first course of action.
Absolutely.
There got to be something to go with.
Because in Florida, you don't have to go to a class now.
That's crazy.
The Santos, you do not have to go to a class. You go and you buy the gun. They run your Social Security number, and you're off to the races. Now, if I've never, I took my daughter, who is fully licensed. I took her. We went shooting recently, and if you've never been taught how to use certain weapons, semi-automatic, all that kind of stuff. It's not just the old West gun like the what they used to call double action, where you could pull back a trigger or you could just pull the trigger. Those were simple guns.
Right.
The guns on the market now, you got to know how to clear them. You have to know. And if nobody has taught you, you could have a bullet in the chamber.
Yep.
I've seen. I watch all kinds of stuff. I've seen where these security guards keep shooting themselves in the foot because they ain't really been trained well in some of these states where they can just go get a gun and become a security guard.
Yeah, absolutely.
So now they got one in the chamber. They go to pull it, and they've been shooting themselves in the foot.
Don't know where the safety is. Don't know.
And this is the truth. And the latest weapon I bought, honestly, because I don't shoot often, I have to reteach myself every time I shoot. Just what you said. Where's that safety at? Does this gun have a safety on it? And so at the end of the day, having people out here who have no training and don't have the temperament, this guy should be glad that he did not murder one.
Yeah.
But we have the kid who went up to the door. Wrong address. You got an elderly man, and he shoots because he's afraid. He says, allegedly, you afraid. We gotta have a longer discussion on that, because I wonder what people out there feel about gun laws. And somebody asked the question, who's in charge, Republicans or Dems? Depends where you're talking.
Yeah.
If you're talking, state, the Dems are in charge. You're talking federal government, is half and half.
Well, and then it changed by the state, like you said. If you're talking New York State, it's the Dems. You're talking Florida, it's the Republicans. So,
absolutely,
and
absolutely right.
So, and the governor in Florida, he just, I don't even know why there is a government. He just want to pick a fight with everybody.
He trying to take Disney. This dude. And we'll talk about that one day, maybe what all that is. But basically, in a nutshell, before I talk about our sponsors, Disney has their own thing going on.
Oh man.
And they do their own garbage. They do their own fire department. They have their own way of taxing everything. And now the governor said, I'm mad because I told y'all don't say gay. Don't say gay. And Disney said gay. This is what it's all about.
Pretty much.
The governor said, y'all can't say gay in school. No, don't talk about gay in school. Don't talk about none of that. You're going to get fired. You're going to do this. And Disney said gay.
Yeah. Well, first of all, Disney wasn't going to say anything. It was their
The
employees.
employees
walked out.
Employees said, somebody better say gay. And then Disney said gay. And then DeSantis said, I'm taking back all y'all special privileges.
Everything.
He said, you're going to pay because you said gay. Hobson's, the Dr. Dry Cleaner, 874 East Delavan Avenue. That's Hobson's, the Dr. Dry Cleaner. Hobson's is the reason we're on the air from the initial part when Dr. Hobson said, you should have your own radio show. And I said, I don't have my own money to pay for my own radio show. And he said, I got some money and I'll pay for your radio show as long as you basically, he said, keep it real, tell the people stories, do what you do. I love what you do. And he's been paying for it. His wife now has been paying for it ever since. The Hobson's Dry Cleaner, 874 East Delavan. What's that commercial about the ball man? He says, I'm not just a president.
I'm also a client.
I'm also a client. I'm not just advertising for him. I'm also a client. I'm not a client of this place except when I need it for family members. That's Brian K. Lewis Funeral Home. Because if I was a client there, I wouldn't be on the air.
It would be AI.
Host a show with the voice of Darius Pridgeon. Voice of Darius Pridgeon now. Hi, I'm Darius Pridgeon. Oh
God.
I wonder if I could put an AI voice on my tomb. Like when you come to see me, you come to see that the mausoleum, and I'm like, hi. Hi. Thank you for coming to see me. I love you. It's like when people die and their phone don't get cut off yet, and I keep calling back and hearing their voicemail. Or they leave me a voicemail. I still have people voicemails who passed. I won't erase them.
You know, I just realized scrolling through my phone yesterday, I got a lot of dead people in my contacts still.
I do too.
Yeah. I'm scared.
And I'm scared to take them out.
Yeah.
I'm not lying.
I still scroll. I ain't take them out.
I'm scared if I take them out, they gonna come visit my tail. Brian K. Lewis Funeral Home, 3 locations to serve you in your hour of need. Brian K. Lewis. Until next week, I'm throwing it back over to the station. Power to the people.